I have a dear friend whose daughter is in my seventh grade history class. She is one of the sweetest, most well-behaved students I've ever had. Always engaged, always eager to learn. But this morning, she came into class late, and something was off. Normally, she's full of energy, raising her hand and actively participating, but today, she walked in with her head down, her hoodie pulled over her head, and she was holding her arm in an awkward way, clearly in pain. As I walked by her desk, I noticed she had tears in her eyes. I immediately took her outside the classroom to talk in private. She didn't speak at first, but after a few moments of gentle reassurance, she finally opened up. She told me that this morning, she had dropped a glass of water while rushing to get ready for school. Her father, my friend, responded by punching her twice in the ribs and yelling at her for being clumsy. I asked her if she was in pain, and when she lifted her hoodie, I saw bruising on her ribs, which were already starting to show signs of injury. I was shocked. Her father is a large man, well over 6 feet 4 inches, and weighing over 200 pounds. She's a tiny 12-year-old girl, maybe weighing around 85 pounds. I couldn't stand by and ignore this. I immediately asked a colleague to watch my class and took my student to the health office. Her mother arrived shortly after and was beyond furious when she saw her daughter in pain. She was livid and said this was a final straw for her. As upset as she was, she asked me not to file a report, but I explained that I was legally obligated to, as I had seen clear evidence of abuse, and her daughter herself had used the word abuse. I felt terrible for my student. She's a brilliant kid, loved by her peers. And now she's not just struggling with physical pain, but with the betrayal from someone who should have protected her. Her mother did not want me to report the incident at first, but I couldn't let that sway my decision. When a child's safety is in question, it's our duty as educators and responsible adults to intervene. As I sit here, trying to process everything, I can't help but feel disgusted by my friend's actions. Losing my temper is one thing, but physically hurting your child over something so trivial is unforgivable. I am ending my friendship with him. This is not just a case of poor parenting. It's abuse, plain and simple. Commenter's response. It sounds like the mother may have been enabling the situation if she asked you not to report it. The fact that she said this is the last straw makes it sound like there have been other instances before. OP's response. That statement really caught me off guard. When she said it, I looked at her with confusion and asked her what she meant by the last straw. It made me wonder if there were other signs of abuse I had missed. I really hope that this is the turning point for her. Commenter. I wonder if the daughter will be safe with her mother, given that she seemed to be aware of the abuse but didn't intervene before. OP's response. From what the mother told me, it seems like she was aware of the abuse but never directly participated in it. While I understand your concern, I genuinely believe her daughter will be safer with her. The mother is a kind and caring person, and I plan to check in on my student regularly to ensure she knows she has a safe adult she can trust. Update. Thank you all for your messages and support. Many of you asked for an update, so here it is. According to the school district's policies, whenever a child reports abuse, a police officer must be notified. I cannot go into specifics for confidentiality reasons, but I can tell you that a warrant has been issued for her father's arrest. My student is now at home with her mother and grandparents, recovering from her injuries. One of her ribs was broken, and she's still in a lot of pain, but she's breathing better now. Her mother and father have been separated for a couple of months, and she has been considering divorce. Just this morning, she texted me saying that she plans to file for divorce and is fully committed to protecting her daughter from further harm. The mother is a wonderful person, and she did the right thing by reporting the abuse. Her daughter is now in a safe environment, and we are all doing everything we can to support her during this difficult time. Update. I am relieved to share that my student's mother has found stable living arrangements and is now able to support herself and her daughter independently. I've known this woman for 16 years, and I can confidently say she is an incredible, loving mother who would never harm her child. She is a great parent and has always put her daughter's well-being first. However, my student's father is a different story. Last night, he flooded my phone with messages accusing me of destroying his family and demanding that I stay out of his personal affairs. I didn't respond to him and decided to block his number entirely. Today, after school, my student's mother came by my classroom to pick up some of her daughter's assignments. She thanked me sincerely for stepping in and supporting her daughter when no one else did. She said that I saved both of them from a lifetime of abuse. She handed me a note saying it was from her daughter. I read it in private after she left, and I couldn't help but cry. The note was a heartfelt thank you from my student. She expressed how much it meant to her that I recognized her pain and acted on it. She said she felt comfortable talking to me because she had known me her whole life and trusted me to take action if she was ever in danger. In the note, she called me her favorite teacher and assured me she'd be ready to return to class when she was able. I pray for her full recovery and hope she's not deeply scarred by this traumatic experience. She's a bright, loving child who deserves nothing but kindness and care from the people around her. She deserves to be surrounded by those who truly appreciate and love her. Update. This morning, my student's father was arrested, and I'm relieved to say he is no longer a threat to her or anyone else. He even admitted to driving past my apartment complex last night. I feel like I dodged a major bullet by being out of town for the weekend. I can finally relax, knowing that my student and her mother are safe. I also want to thank everyone who has supported me throughout this ordeal. If you are in an abusive situation, please speak to a teacher or counselor at your school. I know it's incredibly difficult, but please give yourself the opportunity to be helped. It could be the difference between a lifetime of danger and a chance at freedom. Not all teachers may be able to help, but there are many of us who are here to listen and act. Commenter, I'm glad to hear her father is in custody. One thing I've been wondering is why the mother initially asked you not to file a report, especially if her daughter was taken to the hospital, where they'd likely suspect child abuse and have to report it themselves. OP's response. That's a great question. The mother was terrified of retaliation from her husband. In abusive relationships, the victim often fears what might happen if they take action, especially when children are involved. It's a heartbreaking cycle. People endure abuse for years, but many will act immediately if they witness their child being hurt. It's an incredibly difficult situation to navigate. Update. 8 days later, my student returned to class today after missing the entire week due to her broken rib. She was supposed to come back Wednesday, but she wasn't quite ready, so they waited until yesterday. When she walked into class today, she had the biggest smile on her face. Her arm was in a sling, but she was breathing normally, no longer struggling with shallow breaths like she had been the previous weekend. She sat down, got right to work, and participated in class like nothing had happened. She is such a strong, resilient young girl. After school, she came to my classroom and handed me a note with an envelope inside. The envelope contained a gift certificate to a nice Italian restaurant, courtesy of her mother. It was a way for her to thank me for everything I did to help her and her daughter. The note expressed her gratitude for recognizing her pain and for creating a safe space where she felt comfortable reaching out. She said that my actions gave her hope that she could always turn to someone she trusted if she was ever in distress again. I'd already received a letter from her last week, but this one was even more heartfelt. She gave me a hug before she left, and as soon as the door closed, I sat down and cried for a moment. She is truly incredible for a 12-year-old. I know this event won't define her. She has a strong, supportive family behind her. Her mother is making great strides in being more open with her, and together, they're working toward healing. With her father in jail, she's no longer at risk, and I know that she's going to continue to thrive. She is without a doubt my favorite student.